Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, and I just thought I'd share with you some fun stuff about what is it that you do that helps you stay calm, cool, and collected or focused when you're running your small business or your side gig. So I have a lot of experience with chickens without heads. We used to have a chicken ranch as kids, and if a head came off, well, sometimes that chicken would be running around the yard before the nervous system said, hey, you don't have a head. So, can this happen to you when you're in small business? Yes, it can. Or if you're working for someone else in a sales or marketing position, maybe some other situations, but I'm going to focus on those. Good morning, everyone. I'm Marla Kopal. I am a small business consultant for sales and marketing, and I help people finish their weeks and their months without acting like a chicken without a head. So why did I bring this up today? Well, depending on what you're doing for a livelihood, you may be working for someone else. So you may be in a large company that you are in sales or you are in marketing, and you really know that product and you know how to do their process. And you know your goals for the month, but for some reason, the last week of every month is a high stressor for you. You're like trying to bang it out. Then I have friends who run side gigs, and they also feel this pressure at the end of the month to make a quota. Well, why don't they try for that quota within the first half of the month or the first 3 days of the month? What is it about urgency that drives you? I had to question that because, I used to run on high octane. I could be a chicken without a head when I ran my own small business. It is actually one of the reasons that I sold that small business, because I wasn't healthy. Those levels of peaks and valleys in stress really do not work for you on a long-term health basis. That's some of the reasons for a poor digestion. That's some of the reasons for headaches. That's some of the reasons for high blood pressure, and who knows what else. Good morning, all of you who are watching. So if you don't want to be a chicken without a head at the end of every month, it's time to get some practices in. So let's come to small businesses. Where do I help in small businesses? Well, a lot of people are trying to manage 5 or 6 social media platforms. Is that really the best for you? Do you really need to sit down and assess? Do you even know how to assess? So my first question today is, if there's any point in your life, your month, or your week, you're feeling like a chicken without a head, running around and having no idea what you're producing, then it's time for us to have a conversation and help you understand what balance could look like. Now, when I was in sales for a large corporation, I loved it. We had quotas that had to be done every month, and I just made it my mission to come in a couple of Saturdays, and I let my son build a fort under the desk because that worked for him. And it was before I was running a side gig, and I would just make calls, and I would have 20 appointments set up for the following week. I would get people within 2 hours on a Saturday. It was a great investment to avoid that last week craziness. So here's what happened at my workplace: is every week everybody would work, Monday through Thursday pretty heavily, and then on Friday somebody was tasked with bringing in a breakfast, and so we had a little bit of social and some time. But there were some people that took that breakfast back to their desk and gobbled it down, because on Friday they were trying to produce what they could have produced Monday through Wednesday. And they were standing at the coffee. They would go find the cubes to lean over and talk to people. And I had a friend who would be there, and he would say, when somebody would lean over his cube, he'd say, "Are you buying from me today?" And they'd say no. And he'd go, "Bye-bye." Then on Fridays, he would eat the breakfast and gloat while everybody else is cramming food down their mouth and still trying to make their weekly quota. So I watched that, and I said, you know what? That's quite interesting. Why can't you reverse your deadline? Who cares what the company gives you as a deadline? Who cares what your side gig gives you as a deadline? Make your own deadlines and make them work. When you make your own deadlines and you make them work, you're no longer that chicken, the running around without the head. It's like you're living in your own power. Oh my God, it is such a refreshing feeling. So I had fun when I learned to do that because Fridays were no longer stressors for me, and the end of the month was a joy. I made it my purpose to get my goals met by the third week. And then week 4 was gravy. It was delightful. And I could just see everybody else quickly running up and put their tag. What were they looking for? Were they looking for affirmation that they were a good boy or a good girl? You know, when you're in commission sales, the only reward is that you get to pay your bills, you get to make your mortgage payments, you get to put the food on the table that you'd like for your children instead of buying Wonder Bread and bologna. So why do you want to be the chicken without the head in your own small business? If you're really ready to just let the chickens be alone by themselves and you pick your own game, your own pace, your own yard of play in your business, whether it's a side gig or a full-time business, then one of the places you start, especially with your side gig, is to get your social media platforms down to a manageable point so you are no longer a chicken without a head. And then you want to set your goals up to be manageable and doable by week 3 so that week 4, you're helping everybody else who still hasn't learned your process to help them get their work done too. So remember, if you're running a side gig, you need your team to come along with you. So whatever your mindset, if it's like, I only do well when I work under pressure, I'm going to ask you to relook at that and say, is that healthy? Is it actually effective? Or does it make everybody in your family hate you at the end of every month? Then it is time to talk. And I started this conversation on the 9th of the month so that you have time to talk about it and make the month of July different for yourself. So I'm Marla Copal, everyone. Have a great weekend. Chew on this, and let's talk soon.